Hello Admirals and welcome back to my channel where I talk to you about Battlefleet Gothic, the space fleet game based in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. In my previous video about the painting competition, I gave you a little bit of background on it, but I have been doing it monthly since 2018. You can find all of the previous entries and discussion on those, the winners and all that sort of thing on my website, which is Port Invicta. And also on the Battlefleet Gothic Facebook page, the albums from all the previous winners are there as well, so you can also browse through them really pretty easily if you're on Facebook. I also do posts monthly on my stories on Instagram, and they all go onto Discord as well, so you can find it in multiple different platforms. But it's 2025, and so I've been posting on those different platforms for a very long time now, but this is a very new channel. That was my dog, if you heard my dog in the background. But this is a very new channel, and as I said in the previous video, Chris, Double Bass Fanatic, came up with an idea to why don't you post it on YouTube. So yeah, this is the first of hopefully monthly videos showing you all the different entries from that month into the painting competition. And January, February I always combine together because January is kind of holiday month, people coming off it, and February's a short month, and I often write the awards article that I do at the end of the year in that sort of time frame as well. So they combine that, and it's always any ship, so you can always enter any ship, gives people plenty of options to play around with, but that's enough about the competition. I think you're here to see the pretty gorgeous spaceships that everyone's entered for this month. So without further ado, the next section is going to all be showcasing all those entries. So I hope you enjoy, Admirals. Before I show you any of the entries for this month, I wanted to make a caveat that I'm not a professional painter. Never have been, never will be. I'm very much a tabletop painter. So anything I say here is purely just about kind of my observations as a kind of a lay person. I am not an expert in painting by any stretch of the imagination. And additionally, the people who I mention in this video, I won't mention all the general people, like everyone, they're people that I know have sort of social media accounts and social media presence on the different platforms. So I know they're comfortable with me mentioning their names because they have pages which they sort of display this sort of their art and their talent and things like that. But I won't mention everyone because not everyone wants to be called out on the internet. But without further ado, let's kick it off with one of the best Necron entries I've ever seen in my entire life. An amazing entry. I love the sort of the raw sort of blue-grey rust effect traveling from the back, progressing into the gold and bronze of this Necron Khan tomb ship. Absolutely think it's a wonderful paint scheme, and it looks almost like fingers are crawling up through the through the spaces in the ship. I absolutely love it, and brilliantly executed. This is done on other ships as well. I've seen other ships this creator has done. It's just a stunning ship. Keeping with the gold theme, we're going to go with this amazing and very sort of detailed and deep kind of looking ship, which is a Mars class battle cruiser. This is kind of the traditional classic box art scheme of the gold and red prow. It's Battlefleet Armageddon, and I love the base. They've got the name of the ship on the base as well. I really love the ship. I think the shadows and the depth that they've managed to put into this ship is just fantastic. Those dark recesses are just really well done. Onto another Necron ship, and it's really unusual to see red on Necron ship, and I think it's done really well. It's very striking. Again, this person has created an entire Necron fleet of red and black and gold, and it looks absolutely amazing all together. And I think red and black on Necrons just works really well. I love the bold colours of it, and I love the striking nature of it. So a really awesome Necron, again, tomb ship, Khan tomb ship. This one's kind of one of our regular painters that enter into my competition. This is from Andrew, Atomic Bits on Instagram. One of the best painters in our talented community by far. And I think you can see why with this one. I love the OSL effects on the sort of the prow and the energy along the actual hull itself. And I think this is a 3D print coupled with bits from Battlefleet Galaxy. I love the hazard striping. It's so clean and crisp. And then, yeah, a classic from this painter. He's won a number of the painting competitions, and I think you can see why. It's just a wonderful, wonderful ship. This one's from Ray, who's a regular commenter on my channel and one of the old heads in our community. Even went so far as to sort of create a lot of the rules that we know and love, like AdMech and things like that. And quite funny, I got this Tyranid entry, this hive ship that has been... it's actually kit bash like the olden days, no 3D prints and things like that. This is a proper kit bash. I got this when I was about to play games with my mate BFG Noob, and the fun thing is that this actually kind of reminded us of a creature you'd kind of find in our Australian outback, or even in our garden. Kind of both of us had a kind of a wry smile when we looked at this. Really, really cool conversion, really cool scheme from Ray. I really, really like it, and it's an unusual hive ship. I think it's a really, really cool design. Something that I think I'd be keen to sort of emulate as well, and people, when I post up on the Facebook page, have keen to copy that design as well. Speaking of BFG Noob, this is one from him, and this is a 3D print coupled with a few Dark Angel bits from the Space Marine kit, along with some Battlefleet Galaxy bits, things like the guns and things like that. Really cool Dark Angels, sort of venerable battle barge, as it were, that he's included. I really, really like the scheme, and I really like the way the red pops on the prow and the hull. Sorry, yeah, and I love that. I do really like the deep shade of green that he's managed to put into this. It looks really, really nice. Kind of sticking with sort of the Space Marines in a way, but we're going into Nurgle here, and we've got a number of Nurgle ships actually submitted this time, and they're all different, which is really, really cool. This is almost like Heresy era colors. I love the bone color, which has then been accentuated with like washes. By the looks of it, that's my sort of layperson's eye. I really, really like that bone color on ships. I think it works really, really well, and something that I think if I do a sort of another Nurgle fleet, I certainly will increase that. I did a very similar scheme myself on my Terminus Est, but this has been executed far better than I ever could. And I do love the little green highlights that they've included. It very, very, very cool. Yeah, really, really cool. I think this is a 3D print as well. I think this might be an Italian moose design, I think. Over to an amazing conversion from a regular of the community. This is Bleach Hawk. Awesome paint scheme. I love the rust effect that he's got going on like the number. Blue and orange just works really, really nicely, and I love the OSL or green effect on the engine. But one little side note of this is this ship is actually made, which you can't tell, out of a washing line peg that you used to put up your washing. This was a challenge in the Warp Rift magazine to do this, and Bleach Hawk has gone and created this ship out of a washing line peg, which is mind-boggling to me and absolutely amazing. You'd never pick it. And he's provided the how he's made it sort of article through, which I will have up on my website at some point, and I'm sure it will end up in Warp Rift magazine as well. Amazing kit bash sort of scratch build, for want of a better word, and really, really cool scheme. It looks always with the characterful ships. If you want to see like unique ships, definitely go check out his Instagram. It's so good. Going from like sort of a scratch build to a 3D print, we've got our first entry from a new member of the community, which is awesome. And I really like that they've gone for the classic sort of green scheme of Gothic. And I love the fact that someone's given going into their first competition, which is always cool. And I like the fact that they've included some sort of warp rift or some sort of gas clouds around their ship, which is always cool. Green is a classic color scheme for the Imperials, always really, really cool to see on the ships. And if you're not sure what colors to go with, the Gothic scheme is always a good example. Okay, over to my entry. Yep, it's me. I enter one because it's always fun to enter your own, just to also boost up numbers a little bit. This one is from my Salamander's fleet. This is actually a Chalice of Fire, which is a character ship in the lore. It's the Forge ship of Vulcan. To represent it, I decided to go with the Titan carrier from Battlefleet Galaxy. So this is kind of, I haven't added anything to this. This is that ship directly from there. So if you're interested in the ship, go check out Battlefleet Galaxy. Their print is there for you to have to purchase. Over to the next Nurgle ship that we've got, and as you can see, totally different to the previous one, where the last one was sort of more that classic Heresy era bone scheme. This one is, you know, going down the fully blessings of Papa Nurgle here with the pustules and the rot and the green scheme. Really, really cool. I love the eye at the back of the ship around the engine sort of housing. I really like that. One thing you can't really probably see with this photo that doesn't do it justice is the base is really, really cool, because the base down looks like it's rotting and going onto a planet. Really, really cool addition to the ship, and yeah, really, well, disgustingly pretty Nurgle ship, I think, is the best way to describe this one. Another new Admiral entering for the first time. I believe this is a 3D print. Originally was a Soulforge Studio print, which I now think you can only get via Godforge. Iron Warriors kind of style ship. I really like the chrome effect on the engine, and I really like the black to gold stroke bronze scheme. It really, the guns kind of come out along with sort of the prow at the base. Really pops a little bit. And yeah, I really like this design of the ship. I think it's a really, really cool ship. Another new entry, and with a classic scheme as well. And also I do appreciate the showing of an admiral as well. I do like it when admirals are also get modelled. But this is a classic Gothic scheme, the green, white and gold. And I believe this ship is technically would be classed as a victory thanks to the prow and the lances. Yeah, I think a victory. Could be played as an apocalypse class battleship as well, I'm sure. The classic scheme, green and white and gold, you can never go wrong. Great effort. And you can see a little bit of the cool engine painting with the blue and silver at the back too, which I really like, and I do appreciate the blue on that. Over to a spectacular kind of entry, a Space Marine battle barge. This one's Salamanders, and I do like the sort of more luminous green that they've gone with for the Salamanders. And I do like the contrast with that and the sort of, you've got the prow and the engine housing, and then the actual hull itself with the gold and silver. Really, really cool. And I think this is maybe, and again, an Italian moose design, or it could be from Soulforge Studios as well. I can't remember. It could be either one, but definitely bits there as well that I recognise from other third parties as well. But a really cool Salamanders entry. Always great to see Salamanders. They're definitely one of my favourite chapters as well. And we're really sticking with the classic schemes, I have to say, in quite a few of these entries. And we've got a classic Khorne Chaos Red cruiser. We've got a Styx here. One of my favourite ships, if I'm perfectly honest, for the Chaos. Much maligned, but I actually love the Styx. Really cool classic scheme, the red and gold, you can't go wrong. And I do like the additional little extra, more light colour red that you've got in here to highlight some of the sort of things like the guns and things like that. Great effort. I really, really like the Styx. Really cool ship. And then sticking with the Chaos Cruiser theme, we've got a Carnage. And I really like this purpley blue scheme for the hull. And then the gold and the red really does sort of make it pop. But I really like that bluey scheme. And I have to find out what colour that is, because I actually really like to paint that kind of scheme for additional Slaanesh cruisers for my fleet. So a really, really cool entry. Again, I think this is a new Admiral entering as well, which is always great to see. going from the classics to something completely different on this one. This ship is actually from Winter's Bioforge, who originally sculpted years ago a number of different Tyranid ships you could use in the Tyranid fleet, and this is one of them. I really like the sculpts. It was a classic sculptor doing it, by green stuff and things like that, and this is one of them. And really cool scheme. Purpley sort of green and pinks work really well together if you keep on your sort of your color wheel theory and things like that. I really like the way the pink contrasts with the green. It looks really great at the prow, and then the little OSL extra highlights along the sort of the tail there with the green to do it. And purple's just classic color with that, and it's really good. If you're interested in those ships, go check out Winter's Bioforge. On to our final Nurgle ship. I believe this ship is from is a no fixed forge sculpt, and it's a fully corrupted battleship. To be fair, fully corrupted, the spoiler essentially. I love the sculpt, but because of the teeth on the prow and things like that. But I love what the painter has done with this. I love the sort of luminous green highlights that they've got going, along with then the pinky purple for like the veins and the tentacles that are associated with the ship. Yeah, I think it looks sickly is the best way I could describe that, I think. And it's just really well done. Really cool ship to see on the tabletop. I'd love to paint something like that. It'd be awesome. And we're on to a Space Sharks. I'm going to call them Space Sharks because I can't pronounce Carcharodons very well, and I think I'm going to mess that up horrifically. This is an STL. I actually own one of these ships myself. It was from an original Soulforge Studio ship. Again, I think you're going to get it from Godforge now, and I actually put this sculpt into my own. So this is a Battle Force. But this Grand Cruiser has been pressed into service for the Space Sharks. I do really like this color scheme for Space Sharks. It's muted, but the gold and grey and black really works well. Do really appreciate the shark on the prow. Lovely touch. My favourite bit of it though is the teeth along the prow. Lovely detail, absolutely love it. And the Nicor actually has rules. So that is actually a named character ship in the rules. It was kind of from the Forge World kind of phase. So yeah, you can check that out. It's quite powerful, if memory serves me correctly. Now onto one of my favourites, I have to admit. This one is actually, I've just released a story about this one. It's from one of the members of the community on Instagram, CTW Wargames, and basically did a Dauntless that's been sort of taken over by orcs. And you can read the story of that on my page. It's just been published. I really like the colour scheme. It's gone for, he actually has gone and painted it in my reserve fleet colours, Tubidius fleet colours, in the white prow, gold trim and blue. That's my colours for my fleet, in my reserve fleet. That's then been stolen by orcs with all the gubbins and things like that that's been put on it. And this is actually, he's gone and created an STL file for this, so I can print one off myself for this. So I suggest you go have a read of the excellent story from Chris. It's great. And yeah, and then have a look. I think it pops really well. I do like the little green OSL highlights on the bridge and underside as well. And I do like the teeth along the prow. It does make me happy. It's really cool. Back to the Space Marines on this one, and we have another awesome entry. I do like the grey, and I do like the addition of the little gubbins on the side to denote the chapter. Grey, and it works really well. You wouldn't think that it works well on a battle barge, but it allows other details to pop along it, like the bridge and like the prow with the eagle and things like that. So great entry, and another new entry as well, which is great. Another new Admiral entry, which is always great to see. Brilliant entry here for Tau. This is, I believe, a Scourge Scenics sculpt from Italian Moose. I believe it's Scourge Scenics, a merchant class vessel. White is incredibly difficult to do. I think we all know that. That and yellow. Or it could just be me, but white is incredibly difficult to do. I have a white Tau fleet. I feel this artist's pain in painting white. I love the little extenuations of the red to just make the ship pop.
Cool sort of edge highlights and dry brushing to bring out the white and grey more. I do like the addition of the little tau symbol on the prow. Absolutely stunning entry, definitely one of my favourites personally. I really, really like this ship. It's really, really well done. Over to one of the staples of our community, quite frankly. This entry is from Horizon, who many of you will recognise from Instagram and Discord and things like that, and also the editor of Warp Riff magazine. This one's a 3D print from Roy, and then the addition of various different sort of weapons from Battlefleet Galaxy. Those sort of big guns and laser platform that you can see on the side there are from Battlefleet Galaxy. Really, really great work. I love the yellow and the grey. Really works and transitions really well. And I love the little additional pops of blue that Roy's put in this, especially on sort of the guns and the plasma. And you always got to love a cool looking base. Top work from a great painter in our community. Speaking of another, moving on to another sort of Star Wars to our community. This is from Blue Squat, who some of you will recognise a number of Blue Squat 55's miniatures because they do a lot of 3D cool 3D models, and this is no different. I actually really love this entry because it's rare to see sort of the striped kind of look on our ships. It's an unusual scheme. You don't often see it by any stretch of imagination, and I think it's the red and white is a classic scheme. It works really well together, and it just pops. Also, great looking base. I love the pink and the yellow. It works really, really well together. And the final entry left an amazing entry to the last, quite frankly. This is an Armageddon battle cruiser that I think is a 3D print. It could be from Scourge Scenics, but certainly with addition to Battlefleet Galaxy, sort of those wings, those Crusader style wings, certainly an addition from them. A classic scheme, but a little bit of a twist on it because it is the green and white gold of a Gothic scheme, the Gothic sector scheme, but the green is a little bit more muted, but I think that allows the white and the gold to really, and the yellow to kind of really pop on it more, along with the engine and the blue. Really, really awesome entry. Absolutely love it. And I do like the addition of the sort of the flag nameplate on the base as well.
So there we go, Admirals. A bunch of awesome entries. I mean, sets the standard pretty high for the rest of the year, I think. All these entries will be put up in the album on Facebook, and then a poll will be run, as I said in the previous video. It's not me selecting the winners, it's the community on the Facebook page that votes for their top 3, and then I vote for my favourite to get the Admiral's choice out of the ones that don't come in the top 3. And yeah, then they'll all get a awesome voucher from Battlefleet Galaxy, who sponsors the painting competition each month. So I think what I'm going to do is post the winners on the community page and the other different platforms that I click like I usually do, but I won't be particularly doing a video about the winners or anything like that, but I'll put it up so everyone can see who takes the top 3 and the Admiral's choice. So I hope you enjoyed this video, folks. I hope you enjoyed all the amazing entries, and I hope you enjoy this kind of added sort of video each month. Until then, put in the comments which one was your favourite as well, Admirals, which one you'd love to see and sort of replicate maybe, and things like that. Until then, I'll catch you again soon.